Hi class, how are you today? You know I can't hear you, right? Anyway, the learning target for today is to solve word problems using multi-step equations. So first thing I want to talk about is consecutive integers. So consecutive integers are numbers that are in order. So let's say we have 3, 4, 5. Those are consecutive integers. 9, 10, 11, 12. Those are all consecutive. They're in order, one by one. Now, to convert this to sort of algebra notation, this is how you would write consecutive integers using variables. So, if you want to talk about the first consecutive integer, you always say n. So, then the next one, well, if you notice here on all of these, here we started with 3, and then we went to 4, then 5. Here we started with 9, then 10, then 11, then 12. So if your first number is 3, next one is 4. How did we get to that? Well, we added 1. So the next one would be n plus 1. Then the next one after that would be one more up, n plus 2. And if you had more, you could keep going. N plus 3, n plus 4, n plus 5, and so on. Consecutive even integers are numbers that go in order, but they're only the even numbers. So, such as 6, 8, 10. Or 24, 26, 28, 30. So they're all in order, one after the other, but they're just the even ones. And the way you show that is the first one will be 2n. Because it's an even number, that means it's multiplied by 2. So your first number will be 2n. So if you look here, first number is 6, so 6 is 2n. That's just how we write it to show that it's an even number. The next number, notice we start at 6 and then we go to 8. What do we do to get there? We added 2. Same for 8 to 10, 24 to 26, 26 to 28, 28 to 30. Add 2 each time. So the next one will be 2n plus 2. And then the next one after that, add 2 to that. 2n plus 4. And so on. You can keep going. 2n plus 6, 2n plus 8, and so on. Consecutive odd integers are similar to consecutive even integers, but they're the odd ones. So we could have 5, 7, 9. They go in order, but it's every odd number. So 5, then 7, then 9. Or 21, 23, 25, 27. Those are consecutive odd integers. And the way we write that, the first number is going to be 2n plus 1, because that's how you show that it's an odd number. Because 2n will always be an even number, so add 1 to it and you will always get an odd number. So 2n plus 1 is an odd number. So notice that if we started with 5, to get to 7, we add 2 to that. And to get from 7 to 9, you add 2. Same over here, add 2 each time. So to add 2 to 2n plus 1, that'll give us 2n plus 3. And then to get to the next one, add 2 to that, 2n plus 5. And you can keep going if you have more. 2n plus 7, 2n plus 9, 2n plus 11, and so on. I'm writing these out because you're going to have to use these in problems coming up. So here we have the sum of 3 consecutive integers is 27. Find all 3 integers. So the way we set up this problem is the first integer, remember, is n. And then the next one, we add 1. So the next one is n plus 1. And the next one after that is n plus 2. So with that, notice that it says the sum of 3 consecutive integers. That means we're adding those 3 integers. So add those 3 integers, and the sum of that is 27. So adding these 3 up will give you 27. So next we combine like terms. N plus n plus n will give us 3n. And 1 plus 2 will give us 3. Equals 27. Then subtract 3 from both sides. That'll give us 3n equals 24. Divide by 3. And n equals 8. So we know that the first integer is 8. So the first integer is n, which is 8. The second integer, remember, is n plus 1, so 8 plus 1 is 9. The third integer is n plus 2, and 8 plus 2 is 10. So these are 3 integers, and remember they wanted all 3, so 8, 9, and 10. Now we have find 2 consecutive odd integers whose sum is 176. So to do that, remember with odd integers, the first odd integer is 2n plus 1. The second odd integer is 2n plus 3. And all they wanted were 2 consecutive odd integers, so that's all we need. So 2n plus 1 and 2n plus 3, and they want the sum. So we have to add them. And those two added together will give us 176. So now combine like terms. 2n plus 2n will give us 4n. And 1 plus 3 will give us 4. And that is equal to 176. Now we subtract 4 from both sides, which gives us 4n equals 172. Then divide both sides by 4, and we get that n equals 43. So now we go back and we want to plug it in. So remember, the first integer was 2n plus 1. So 2 times n, which is 43. So 2 times 43 is 86, plus 1 is 87. So the first one is 87. The second is 2n plus 3. So same thing. 2 times 43 will give us 86. 86 plus 3 is 89. And they wanted the two consecutive integers, so these are our answers, 87 and 89. So the next one is find three consecutive even integers whose sum is 66. So remember, for even integers, the first integer is 2n. And then the next one is 2n plus 2. And the next one after that is 2n plus 4. And they want the sum, so we add them. And they're saying the sum of those is 66. So now we add them. 2n plus 2n plus 2n will give us 6n. 2 plus 4 is 6. So 6n plus 6 equals 66. That's a lot of sixes. Then we subtract 6 from both sides. And that'll give us 6n equals 60. And then divide both sides by 6. And that gives us n equals 10. So the first integer, remember, was 2n. So n is 10. So it's going to be 2 times 10, which is 20. The second integer is 2n plus 2. So then 2 times 10 is 20, plus 2 is 22. And the third integer is 2n plus 4. So 2 times 10 is 20, plus 4 is 24. And we have our three consecutive even integers. Alright, now let's deal with some different kinds of word problems. So a number is multiplied by 5, and then 3 is subtracted from the product. The result is 12. Find the number. So a number is multiplied by 5. So remember, a number means you're plugging in some sort of variable here. So let's say we have 5 times x. A number is multiplied by 5. So 5 times x, or just 5x. And then 3 is subtracted from the number, or the product. So 3 is subtracted from the product of 5 times x. So here we have 5x and then minus 3. The result is 12. So result means equals. So equals 12. And now it's an equation that we can solve. So add 3 to both sides. That'll give us 5x equals 15. Then divide both sides by 5. And we get x equals 3. So the number is 3. Alright, one more problem. Angela rented a car for $30 per day, plus a one-time insurance cost of $5. Her bill was $125. How many days did she rent the car? So first we have $30 per day. So days is what we want to know, so that's going to be our variable. So $30 per day, so the way we write that is 30 times, we'll call it D for days. You can call it X if you want, or whatever letter. I'll say D for days. So 30D, 30 times D. Then plus a one-time insurance cost of $5. So that means no matter how many days she uses it, she has to pay an extra $5. Just once, though. So add 5 to this. So 30D plus 5, and it says her bill was $125. So after the whole thing, she paid $125. And they want to know how many days did she rent the car. So now we solve the equation. Subtract 5, and we get 30D equals 120. Divide both sides by 30, and we get D equals 4. So she rented the car for 4 days. Alright, that's it for the lesson today. Please remember to take notes over this entire video, and I will see you next class. Have a good night.